Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, I think yesterday was a very interesting day. I think nobody can complain anymore. It is boring. We had the expected sell-off into support, deeper into support. Everybody who's been watching these videos and everybody in the channel membership was definitely prepared for the drop. It shouldn't have been any surprise to anyone. And we have now even reached nearly one of the targets for the downside that I've been highlighting for weeks, which was the $25,312 level, the 50% retracement. I've repeatedly stated, and you know that if you've been watching my videos for a while, that I normally like to see a pullback in a wave 2 to at least the 50% retracement. So the wave 2 is this entire move down. That's the current assumption after Bitcoin rallied and peaked in a wave 1 in April. The idea is that we are now in this W, X, Y structure, and in the Y wave we have an A wave. We peaked in a nice 3-wave move in a B wave, and we could now be down, moving down in a C wave. The C wave, for everybody who's new to Elliott Wave or this channel, a C wave is typically it's always a 5-wave move. So that what we should see of the B wave high, the 29th of May high, is a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. That is what we should ideally see. And it doesn't need to go down as low as I've just indicated here. But I would like to see the region between 24K and 24.5K. Bear in mind, sometimes what does Bitcoin do? It could be if you're waiting for the last low, right? And you're just sitting there and waiting, and then you go to work or whatever and you come back home, that things have already happened. So if you don't be surprised if Bitcoin enters an area, wicks down, recovers within half an hour and then rallies. So just highlighting that, okay? So Bitcoin can turn around at an instant, and sometimes when Bitcoin puts a significant low in place, it can turn around very, very quickly. So the idea is that this is a WXY pattern. Basically, that's been the primary scenario for many weeks. But you know that I don't like the term primary scenario or alternative scenario. Also, the alternative I showed you, which was a reset of the B wave, was a likely scenario. Didn't happen, but it was just not the primary. And however, it was also very, very likely. What was not so likely, but still something we considered, was a direct bullish breakout from here. But as I said before, I will only believe it if Bitcoin shows me a 5-wave move to the upside, something like this, and a subsequent 3-wave pullback. Didn't believe it because, couldn't believe it because the move to the upside of the 12th of May low was only a so-called 3-wave move, only a corrective move. And if we have only a corrective move to the upside, it indicates that most likely it's not going to follow through to the upside. And that is exactly why we like to use the Elliott waves. That's why I tell you all the time that, price action is really key. It's price action that really is a leading indicator. It's not the RSI, it's not the MACD, it's not any other fancy indicator. They can always support, but most indicators, if not all of them, are lagging. It really is the Elliott Wave method that allows us, together with price action, to identify relevant turning points in the price chart. And also what we looked at, we said, okay, if this is indeed a breakout, then it should have rallied in a 3rd wave. And a 3rd wave breakout typically is carried by volume. Well, guess what? Volume was down a lot in this period here. So there's literally still very low volume. Yesterday we had quite a bit of selling volume, but overall volume did not increase significantly in this move to the upside, which was another reason why we said we're probably going to come down, okay? So if we now zoom in, because that's the idea, and at the moment I don't really have any other scenarios. Well, there are 2, but it's literally just, okay, between, right, is this an A, B, C, and do we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it a W, X, Y, and do we just do a W, X, Y? and we don't get this wave 4 and 5. That's why I highlighted yesterday that sometimes, especially if we have periods with high volume where, well, high selling volume, sometimes they turn around early. So sometimes if you wait for that last low, it just doesn't happen. I think these are the only two scenarios I have at the moment, unless price does something strange now. So that's why I often say when we are in a correction, there are many, many different possibilities and scenarios, and we need to be ready for the chop. But it seems like we're finally in an impulse to the downside, which basically doesn't leave a lot of room for interpretation. Of course, there's always room for interpretation, but far less than, for example, in a correction. Many viewers don't understand that, or many people who are new to Elliott Wave. But if you have an impulse, then you have tighter resistances, tighter supports, you have clearer targets, right? And that's always good. That makes life easier for us. So we've seen that anticipated third wave breakdown. We knew it would be a strong one because a third wave is typically a strong move. Okay, and let's now zoom in. So the idea is that we are now moving down in a third wave. As I highlighted yesterday, we probably completed here wave 1 or wave 2. That's been what we talked about last week. And then here a third wave to the downside now. In this third wave, we have a 5-wave move in itself. So we have a 1, 2. The wave 3 of 3 likely finished yesterday. This could now be a wave 4 pullback in a larger wave 3. And we should get one more wave down in a wave 5 of 3. We are currently retesting the important 12th of May low from below, previous support as resistance. And on top of that, we are running or rallying into wave 4 resistance. I think this is an interesting one to the downside where we could see further downside continuation. Price needs to stay below $26,105 to follow through. A break above it would make the chart morph into a different scenario, because then the wave 4 would get too, let's say, would get too aggressive, that it's not a wave 4 anymore. But at the moment, the idea is that we have here resistance somewhere all the way up to 26.1K, and that either at 25, either now or at 25,930 or 26.1K, either there we should, at one of these points, we should ideally see a downturn. They are ideal places where price should turn to the downside and then carry on going, right? So the idea is here we are probably in a wave 4 of a wave 3. If we do a little bit of a higher retracement, it might be that we're already in the yellow wave 4, but it doesn't look right. So this is at the moment my interpretation. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.